What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back if you're new. My name is ATX Crypto. We primarily focus on the Richard Heart ecosystem of HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX. And I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. We're going to be checking out, sharing some thoughts about who wins. We got a lot of information coming, a lot of stuff packed in. So if you're new to the channel, it would do me a great pleasure if you click that like and subscribe button on down below. And let's kick it off. I hope everyone again is having a fantastic day. Let me scoot this in just a smidge closer. All right, something like that. There we go. Again, hope everyone here. Hope y'all's weekend was phenomenal. Looks like we had the playoffs happen, and the people who you thought was gonna win pretty much won. I think that went exactly like everyone had been hoping. So now we're just waiting to see if the who's gonna be going to the Super Bowl. so, so we got some little excitement coming up in football. But again, we're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss crypto, HEX primarily, PulseChain, and PulseX. So I was checking into some stuff the other day, while streaming, actually, of course. And whenever I was going through, I still find it shocking, folks, shocking that people are still sacrificing for PulseX and for PulseChain. So if you don't know, there was a sacrifice period that happened over a year and a half ago for PulseChain and over a year ago for PulseX. And you were given essentially a ratio where it went up and it would keep ratcheting up 5% every day during that time. So you would get a worse and worse ratio depending upon when you decided to sacrifice. Well, the sacrifice period was really only for like 17 days, 19 days, 20 days, somewhere in that ballpark. And again, we're talking over a year ago for PulseX and over a year and a half ago for PulseChain. And I looked into the sacrifice address for PulseChain and for PulseX on both of them. And folks, people are still sacrificing. I am shocked. I am truly, truly shocked that people are still sacrificing here. So I'm going to share this screen so that way y'all can also see the same thing that I saw. But this is etherscan.io. If you're not familiar with it, it allows you to check out certain addresses. This was the address sacrificed for PulseChain, and you can always type in on Etherscan in the little search bar PulseChain, as a matter of fact, and it has a name, PulseChain Sacrifice. So when you click it, it'll show you everything that's still holding in the account, everything that's still being held in here. Now, when PulseX happened and the sacrifice happened, a lot of the funds actually moved into the PulseX sacrifice, just so that way it was more or less all in one place. So you can imagine that over this period of time, there's been over $74,000 still sacrificed. And guys, if you come on down here to the ERC20 transactions, this actually lets you see everything happening. This is 2 days ago, 4 days ago, 15 days ago. So this is in 2023, folks, that people are sacrificing for PulseX and for PulseChain. Now, this is PulseChain, and we're going to look at PulseX here in a second. But these are the actual tokens that they're sacrificing here. We have folks sacrificing HEX still. We have folks sacrificing some Matic tokens, some USDT. These ERC20 tokens, I'm sure, are probably nonsense. It says chain links, which they may or may not have actually sacrificed. Some of them, I don't really know if this is truly Justin Sun's address, right? Like you see this here, Justin Sun. I don't know if it's truly Justin Sun's address, but I'm not diving into that because, again, this wasn't even about figuring that information out. This was just about seeing what people are doing and what people are sacrificing. Guys, 68 days ago, November 15th of 2022, this person here sacrificed $6,000 in USDT. Now, the return that you get on this right now at this point in time is terrible, folks. And I mean terrible. I really do mean that when I say it. It was not pretty. It is not good. It was, oh my gosh. It was just one of those things that you just did not want to take on in this case, right? And let me see if I can find my little spreadsheet here that I had. Nope, that's not it. One second. PulseX, sacrifice, calculations, multiplier. I wonder if it's in my other Google account. Google. All right, now let me go back into Sheets and see if I can find it that way. PulseX allocation, pulse chain volume multiplier. I was trying to see because again, I actually had a whole calculator that would actually show this information right here about how much you would actually get in terms of your sacrifice. And it, guys, it's not pretty. Promise, it's not pretty. This isn't showing me what I'm looking for here though. So unfortunately, I'm not, I don't know why I can't find that spreadsheet that I made, you know, but this here is showing that this person just recently sacrificed in November of 2022, $6,000 in USDT. So it makes me wonder sometimes, like, what these folks are doing, right? You got them trying to mint some Zen token. You got them coming and getting some HEX and converting, you know, that token into HEX. It looks like you have them just continuing to purchase some more HEX by converting USDC. And yeah, I mean, they seem to be pretty active in what they're doing over here. They have a, you know, lot of activity in terms of what they're doing. So maybe they just recently heard about it. Let me see how long this address has really been around. Because sometimes when people are brand new to this whole ecosystem, some people will just dive in. So 612 days ago, so they've been in the ecosystem for at least a little bit of time, for sure. They've minted some HEX, they've staked some HEX. You can see it all here because it's coming from a burn address. This null address is actually a mint address in most cases. It's also a burn address as well. So when you stake your HEX, that's the address you'll see it sent to. Even though, again, that you maintain possession of that, it just converts the HEX into shares. And that's actually how you end up getting paid daily in HEX. So it looks like they definitely have been in this ecosystem for a period of time. And to see that they still sacrificed just recently in November for 6,000 USDT, guys, the amount of money that you get off that is not bueno, okay? So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll even dive in to see the sacrifice checker as well. And so if y'all haven't seen this, this is also a sacrifice checker. You can go to pulse-sacrifice-checker.versal.app, and I'll put this in the in the chat below as well, so that way anyone who wants to go, you can definitely see it as well. Yes, what's up? Yes, I got Alfred Berger in here. What's going on, my friend? Hey, what's your price prediction next run? I have a cool voting for you. Yeah, so yeah. So price prediction next run for what? Depends on what you're talking about, right? Are we talking, is Pulse Chain around? Does it exist in this bull run? Are we asking that? Are you talking about a price prediction of where HEX may end up going? You know, and then again, that's going to be a tough question too, because you have, if Pulse Chain launches, you'll have, or when Pulse Chain launches, we should say, you'll have the HEX on Pulse and the HEX on Ethereum. So tough question to answer there, but definitely have it. You can definitely send me a private message. You can hit me up on Twitter, ATXCrypt. It's just take off the O at the end, and that will be my tag on Twitter. You're more than welcome to send it. That's cool for your channel, seeing some price stats. Of course. Yes, I love checking out price stats, right? This is if you're new to the channel, this is definitely something that I will commonly end up doing. I will look into, say for example, looking at these little charts that people have made in the community at one point in time. This was created by DOS Bomb, and he actually had a whole little spreadsheet that he created as well. And I don't even think if I type in the amount, it'll tell us anymore. So let's just see what it's saying. So, because this is only calculating for hex, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see, hex amount. Let's just see, what would be $6,000 worth of hex right now? 6,000 times 0.023. Oops, 6,000 divided by 0.02. All right, so roughly about 260,000. 260,000. So 260. Whoops, come on right here. 200. Why aren't you adjusting? Oh, I have it on view only. Oh goodness. I thought I've already done this. Give me one moment here while I get it situated. And if y'all don't know, you can always just go to File, make a copy, and you can actually typically start making adjustments on your own tab as well, so that way you don't affect the main tab. Just in case any of y'all didn't know that. So if I come on over here, we're going to say 260,000 at the current price of 0.023. Really want this to show 6,000. There you go. I'm just gonna put that there. So 6,000 day 1 through 5. Yeah, it's only gonna show day through 17. Because again, guys, like this, it wasn't meant to go longer than that. And yeah, here we are. Because this was the whole metric of how it all went when we first launched. Really crazy information on it. So definitely a little bit interesting on it. You have Telegram, see this? Yeah, so you can always hit me up on Telegram too, ATX Crypto on Telegram. And yeah, for Hex. So Alfred, to answer the question for Hex, you know, on Ethereum side, I see it going anywhere between $1 to $3 on the Ethereum side. On the PULSECHAIN side, sky's the limit, really. There's going to be a lot of, we're going to have to adjust our plays and what we plan on doing. So just be ready to adjust your strategy, because at any point in time, it will have to be adjusted as well, okay? I did have this. Okay, cool. So this was actually my PULSECHAIN strategy here. And this is the whole profit-taking thing that it would tell you essentially how much you would get from everything that you invested. Is this correct? PULSECHAIN profit-taking? No. No, that's not it either. Dang it. Man, I really got to find my spreadsheet that I made. I'm kind of sad that I am unable to find it right now. Now I'm kind of going on a little mission to hunt it down. I know I shouldn't be wasting time trying to hunt it down right now during this moment. But you know how sometimes we get distracted with certain things, and damn it, I want to make this. Like, why is this not I feel like it's close, but it's not quite showing me correctly the information that I'm looking for. Because I have it to where it actually would show you how much you would actually get overall. So I can remove this one, move to trash, remove this one, move to trash. PULSECHAIN, point value, nope. Okay, here we go. There we go. I want to say this, did I go all the way down with it? Let me make sure, because I went into the next year. Okay. So this doesn't even go into the current year over here. Guys, this is absolutely crazy, and I'm just going to pull this down so it kind of calculates all the cells all the way down. Might as well fill it all the way in. All right. Okay. So this was a whole spreadsheet that I had right here, and this spreadsheet would actually kind of tell you how many sacrifice points you would get per $1 sacrificed. And that's going to take forever to scroll all the way back up. I might as well just come right here. Okay, so this was when PULSECHAIN first launched. Pulse Chain launched and Pulse Chain Sacrifice happened July 15th. That's the start date for the Pulse Chain Sacrifice. Now, with that being said, at the time, you were given 0.0001 cents or point. Zoom, sucker. Interesting. Okay, let me just zoom on in so everyone can see things. Here we go. That's a little bit easier for everyone, I believe. So July 15th was the initial sacrifice date for it. And along with that, it was absolutely crazy. And what would happen would be it would increase 5% every single day after the first 5 days. So the idea was that you would get in as soon as you possibly could during the first 5 days because that was the most beneficial time. You would get 10,000 points per $1 sacrificed. Okay. And so don't really worry about how much your points may be worth because, again, Pulse Chain isn't out yet at this point in time. But this was a kind of a strategy to say how much you would get. So, guys, this does the math all for you here. It just automatically calculates everything for us. And so we don't have to try to figure everything out. But this would say if you were I don't have it to where it calculates here. Okay, let me type this in and I can show you. So essentially what you would do is you would say how many points you would receive on the sacrifice date. So for this dummy, I'll call him a dummy because, like, dude, you're still sacrificing for Pulse Chain. That's mind-boggling. And you like, what are you doing? Sacrificing for Pulse Chain still. It just, I can't see any benefit. I don't understand why you would want to go through and do that. But let's just go through and take a look. So you had these folks right here. This is, again, the sacrifice for Pulse Chain on Etherscan, and I'm going to go back to look at the 6,000 USDT. So again, this was November 15th. I'm just trying to figure out the days right here. So we had November 15th of 2022. They had sacrificed $6,000. Okay, going off of this spreadsheet right here, what I'm going to do is look for November 15th because that would be the date that they sacrificed on. So I'm just going to scroll on down real quick. So we had November 15th of 2022. At that time, you would have still only receive 0.033 points per $1. Okay. So instead of the 10,000 points per dollar you would get, you would actually only get, oh, it's right here. You would actually only get 30 points. So I'll do that math. Let's just type that in here. 30 up here. So they sacrificed 6,000 and you would only get, oh, I have to do the points. That is right. I'm sorry, folks. It's been a little bit since I've played with this little calculator situation over here because I didn't think I would really need to be playing with it, especially nowadays. It is, you know, well into 2023 almost at the end of January. And so I didn't really think we'd be adjusting this anymore. But again, it was 0.033. Nope, that's not the value. It's not correct. I am going this. Whoops. Whoopsie, whoopsie. 0.0001. Trying to just do the math in my head right now because, like, whatever is going on in my head right now for whatever reason is not working out correctly here. But essentially, if they were only given, we'll say 30 points or 0.03, then they would only get 214 points. That is a terrible, terrible return of your money. Now, again, assuming it is 30 points, you would get 180,000 points. Now, again, look at the difference. This is someone who sacrificed day 1 through 5. They were given 60 million points. This is them today getting 180,000 points, and that was November of 2022. So if we actually go back over here and see on the sacrifice checker, it gets even crazier, folks, because again, you still have people doing this same math right here. where they would sacrifice many dollars worth of stuff, $83. So again, nothing too crazy. It looks like for the most part, people are basically just trying to get in either for the airdrop capability or just to be in some, because again, like they aren't doing much anymore. But you can actually come back over here to the PulseX sacrifice. PulseX sacrifice. And they actually have the same calculator here. People are still sacrificing, and there's $6 billion sitting in this account, by the way. People are still sacrificing for this as well. Like, I don't know how much a kudo is or what it is or what it's worth at this point in time. I'm sure I could check it out. But you got people sacrificing $200 here, 6,000 hex here, $1, and I'm just assuming they're using that for some sort of play. We had someone sacrifice 6 million Texan token into the PulseX sacrifice just 9 days ago. And this return of your money is just not a good return, guys. This is not good at all, right? Like seriously, this is one of those things that you start seeing it and you're like, what in the world were you doing? Why were you doing it, and why are you still sacrificing? So that's what I see whenever I see this information, but I digress. Here we go. Today I'm just kind of bouncing all a little bit around, aren't I? Jeez, crazy. Yeah, either Twitter or you can't send me a message. Yeah, I think I have it turned off because I don't. I think Gabriel had the same issue whenever he first wanted to send me messages. I think I actually had to go into my profile and adjust the settings, if I'm not mistaken, to allow people to send me messages. Settings and privacy, and I thought I had adjusted it. Messages, direct messages, allow messages requests from everyone. Yeah, so I mean I've adjusted it now. Oh yeah, so I got a new message. Oh yes, yeah, Alfred, I got your message. Yeah, I see you in here. I just accepted your message, so you should be able to send me whatever you want if you are still in the video. I appreciate that as well. But yeah, go ahead and send me what you got. Yeah, I don't want to say how much you got there on stream, but that is more than enough. Hopefully you have some staked, Alfred. This is the purpose of HEX. I don't know where you're at within the ecosystem of learning about HEX, but if you have that decent amount of it, then I would recommend that you look into the staking protocol, because that's where you can earn trustless yield, or you can actually get more hex every single day just by having it staked. And the longer you go, the better the returns that you make, and then it's all up to you, right? So we can of course discuss staking stuff as well if that's something you're looking into. I'm more than happy to share my thoughts and what I can, right? I could share what I can. What's up, Cash Up Cash? Appreciate you coming through the video. Appreciate you coming through the chat. As always, Big GZ, ATX Hexicans. Salute, my friend. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Every single person in here. Y'all are all lovely, beautiful people. We got Ten Top in the house. What's up? What's up, Ten Top? Appreciate you coming through as always. He hits up the replay gang every single time. After y'all get done with this video, if y'all stick around, leave a little comment on the video. It makes that little algorithm for YouTube just kind of show that there's that much more engagement happening, and it kind of gets the videos out there, promotes it to more people. So if y'all like the information that I'm sharing and y'all want to share it with other folks, not only can you share it within your own areas as well, like Twitter and everything else, but you can also hit up just the chat, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. I found this little funny article just recently. This week on crypto Twitter, SBF pleads innocence via Excel. Twitter reacts with memes. So this is actually a full-on Excel spreadsheet that this dude came down here and says, it looks like you're trying to prove solvency. Would you like help? Like, he just can't even help himself, dude. You got this dude over here literally facing multiple consecutive terms of long time in jail, I'm assuming, because of everything that he's done and the fact that he's stolen so much money from and used customer funds as his own. Man, this dude is just an absolute shitbag. It was the third full week of 2023, the third full week of consecutive gains for all leading cryptocurrencies, and the third week of the ongoing spat between crypto exchange Genesis and Gemini. Now, of course, there's always plenty of talk happening everywhere, but National Geographic took the first steps in the NFT world to launch its Genesis collection GM Daybreak around the world. Now, again, it's not good because it was not a good minting process. As per usual, folks, NFTs are just garbage. Garbage. The following day, Maria Shin, an investor of crypto venture firm Electric Capital, shared key takeaways from the company's fourth annual development report. Top line takeaway: the blockchain developer space has continued to grow both throughout and despite the bear market. So they're still trying to say that it's all good, it's all happening, everyone's still growing, everyone's still happening here. But of course, you got the good old major international news of cryptocurrency because everyone had the everyone had this anticipation. The U.S. Department of Justice said they were going to announce something about the major international cryptocurrency action, and people were like, "Oh shit!" People are gonna like Binance is screwed, and all these people they're gonna come after every single person who's ever transacted outside the U.S. and whatever crazy thought you had, right? That fear, uncertainty, and doubt that everyone talks about. The DOJ had just basically said that they were just going to be coming after these other exchanges like Bits Lotto. It was this very small exchange. Not a lot of people even know about it, but it prompted many memes and much hilarity on Twitter. And of course, because like we were live at Bits Lotto headquarters, and you can see like the old ass computers just from the memes happening. This is happening right here. Fresh meme regarding yesterday's news. Everyone else is all coming here. You're just sleeping peacefully. And the DOJ's like, I got you, Bits Lotto. Don't hurt them. Like, they, instead of protecting all these other freaking things happening and all these other centralized exchanges that have gone bankrupt, they take down Bits Lotto, which no one's even freaking heard of. I think their volume in total is like 100 million or just absolutely something just pretty ridiculous. It wasn't anything crazy, but pretty ridiculous. German automobile Titan Porsche announced to mint a new 7,500 piece of NFT collection once again. And then you got the good old SBF, disgraced former CEO on FTX, who is currently under house arrest charges with 8 financial crimes in connection to the exchange's collapse, insisted that the FTX bankruptcy team is wrong about the insolvency of FTX US. Like, this dude just will not freaking stop. He literally stole people's money and he's still trying to pretend like he's out here to help people. That dude can go screw off. He's definitely that middleman D. Hexray Vision had a whole stream happening where he talked about the middleman D, and it was a pretty funny meme that I actually got a good laugh out of as well. So yeah, just keep in mind that definitely happened. Bankman Free tweeted his last Substack post where he says FTX US was and is solvent, likely with hundreds of millions of dollars in excess of customer balances. Although replies were turned off, many quoted SBF's tweet to meme his spreadsheet or remind him that he really shouldn't be tweeting anymore. This is a good old SBF when he makes a spreadsheet from The Office. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. FTX US is solvent, always has been, and literally he is trying to show people in this fucking spreadsheet of all things. Like, this is literally like the worst possible thing you can show. It literally show like what he is literally saying like, I hold all the money. SBF is all right here. SBF. Like, oh my god. These funds, are they in the room with us right now? Right? Like, he got memed out like crazy on this one, folks, because why not? This dude is literally stolen people's money. People are just absolutely crushed with him. They have a whole new chart of FTX executives who helped run SBF's crypto empire. Amazing artwork. And so if you haven't seen this one yet, this is another little funny little picture that ended up coming along as well. And so you have FTX power players, the web of influence within SBF's empire. Right? Literally commingled funds. CEOs were in a former relationship. Heartbroken Caroline Ellison pleaded guilty already to the charges. You got Gary Wang or Gary Wong, who's already pleaded guilty as well. Like, dude, not good. These people are not looking good right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, you have other people still in a relationship with each other. Guys, it's a shit show. We can just call it what it is. So that's basically what's happening there. Now, I just recently saw something. I don't know the reality of it, but I heard OpenSea had been compromised. Compromised account. Let me see what that actually ends up, because I just recently read it. Um, why do I think my OpenSea account has been hacked? What do I think? My OpenSea was hacked. No, no, no. How to delete OpenSea account easily. This just happened on January 6th. Was it because of everything happening here? Compromised account. Let me see if I can go through and just find it real fast. Compromised account. Let me OpenSea. Let's go through past 24 hours. OpenSea security policy bypassed by hackers using match advanced order function. And this just recently, yeah, January 23rd, 2023. So OpenSea is again the NFT platform like we've been talking about. Hackers exploited OpenSea's stolen ape policy to sell Franklin's collection offer. This was executed with a match advanced order function, mint and sell. Hackers bypass OpenSea's security policy, but there needs to be a buyer and a bid for the offer. So Franklin is the sixth largest Bored Ape Yacht Club holder. Revealed his official Twitter account that someone had exploited OpenSea's stolen ape policy to sell his collection, or at least offer, after it was already marked as under review of suspicious activity. It happened again, second time in a week. Someone has exploited OpenSea's stolen ape policy to sell my collection offer after it was already marked. Like, oh my god. This is what we're talking about, guys. You don't even own it to where like you are holding these things on OpenSea where someone can literally just come in and put your whole collection up for grabs if they decide to, if they want to, if they feel like it. Because why? Because they can. As revealed, the hackers utilized this function. This became following Franklin's tweet of January 20th, on January 20th, notifying OpenSea to get their stolen ape policy fixed. He addressed that he addressed it an ape with the yellow caution mark was sold on his OpenSea wrapped Ethereum offer for 65 wrapped Ethereum. Let me see if we see anything here. Yeah, literally like OpenSea not doing good. This further bypasses the security policy of OpenSea, but a buyer is still required to put in an order and a bid. Oh shit, that's funny though. That's funny. I think that's hilarious. I really do. Um, that shit is like really funny to me. Like people are literally putting all their money, and this is good money that they have with the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I mean, these things are going for, in some cases, millions of dollars, and you literally have it on a platform where someone just gets to come in and take it out of your name because you don't even hold it, you don't even own it. Like this just further proves that that is exactly what's going on and what's happening, and they really need to get their shit together in all reality. Like, let's be real, they really do. So that's just a little fun little item that I just recently saw. um yeah, just another little once again security outbreach. And not your keys, not your coins, not your NFTs, not your NFTs. I mean, they could literally change the picture at any point in time. Richard Hart talks about it all the time. It's hosted. It's a JPEG loosely related to a serial number hosted on a website that may or may not exist in the future. That may or may not be changed at any point in time they decide to in the future. There's no control. There's tons of middleman D all around NFTs. It's just a place that I don't want to participate in, partake in, And, thankfully I listened to the good old man, Richard Hart, saying the good old word of what not to do. What's up, Hex Glenn? Appreciate you coming through the chat. What's going on, my friend? ATX, yes, sir. That's me. Firefighting 82 in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening, Firefighting 82? Appreciate you coming through as well. All the love, much love for every single one of y'all who come through. Definitely always greatly appreciated. So, checking this out, guys. We got the conversation today was going to be discussing like who wins, right? You got a lot of folks being like, which way should I go? PulseChain, PulseX, HEX on Ethereum, HEX on PulseChain. There's going to be so many different ways to go and strategies to go with, but who comes out on top and who really wins? And guys, this is something that you will have to like zoom out. It's going to be tough to hear, but you got to zoom out in these cases and not look at it from a short-term plan, because with crypto, it's very volatile. The price of PulseChain could launch and go to the moon. The price of PulseX could, sit stagnant for a while because it's not really the big talk about at this point in time. And then you're going to have HEX being probably hurt whenever PulseChain first gets launched on the Ethereum side, because people are going to be trying to bridge in getting the new HEX on this side. Now, if HEX ends up reaching over to like say 60 cents over here on the PulseChain side, and it's only 5 cents over here on the Ethereum side, what do you think's going to happen? People are going to sell some profit. People are going to take some money, take some of the profit that they had over here in the PulseChain network, move it back in onto the Ethereum side and pump up that price. So the price itself is going to be going very volatile, especially given the first 60 to 90 days. I think you're going to see a lot of volatility happening. Things are going to be moving very quickly. Sometimes the best thing you can do is not do anything. And so sometimes you're going to have to just zoom out, get what you want, come in. If you see something at a discount, at a bargain, scoop it up at that point in time. But if you're catching the rallies on the way up, something that I learned just recently over this last bear market is / bull market is that you don't buy on green days. You don't buy when the candle's going like this. You don't buy when it's just going straight to the moon. Because you have to imagine, if you're buying all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, there's a reason why it's considered to be all-time high. It's because it's never broken that point in time before. So all-time high here, all-time high here, all-time high here, and every single time you keep buying on the rally all the way up, eventually the price is going to drop and you're going to be holding a bag because you bought the all-time high. So instead, you're going to have to come up with a strategy. You're going to have some self-control, and you're going to have to zoom out, because I think in 5 to 10 years time, we could see PulseChain and PulseX do well over 1,000x return. That is a phenomenal return. Will it do 10,000x? I don't know. Only 5 cryptos have ever done a 10,000x, right? But is it likely that Richard Hart creates another project that ends up doing a 10,000x? Probably pretty likely, especially with the community that he has behind him, the people that he has, his knowledge that he shares with us all the time. And so I don't want to put my money on one. I will never say choose one and go this one. If you can diversify your wealth into those 3 different cryptos, if you have it to where PulseChain launches and you only have HEX right now, for example, maybe you put a third of it into, and again, this is depending upon what you have liquid, what you have staked, everything starts changing. But you want to start taking a point in time where you're going to have to say, okay, maybe you take a third of it and you move a third of it into PulseChain, and then you move a third of it into PulseX. Why? Because you're going to have a copy of the of HEX on the Ethereum side and on PulseChain side. So essentially, it ends up doing this 25, 25, 25, 25 separation, where you eventually start off with a clean slate of everything having 25% of your initial wealth at that point in time. And then whatever happens from there is going to be a great momentum play. You're going to have the opportunity to choose if you want to take some profits, if you want to go and you want to move some stuff around. Everything is going to be up to your discretion, and it's definitely going to be something that you need to be thinking about right now. Now is the time to be coming up with that strategy, folks. Now is the time to be figuring out how you want to best play it. I don't think trying to put all your eggs in one basket, like for example, you have all hex right now and you missed the pulse chain sacrifice, you've missed the pulse X sacrifice, and you're only holding hex to get into pulse chain. For some folks, that could be the play. That's exactly what they've intended to do the entire time, and pulse chain just taking longer and longer to launch. And so during this time, you've probably been able to accumulate some more hex on the Ethereum network. And so you're able to use more capital whenever Pulse Chain launches. Well, now if you've been able to buy up some more hex during this bear market, you can take some of those. You don't have to sell all of it. Maybe, like, for example, let's just use some numbers here. For example, you had $10,000, you bought hex because you thought chain was going to launch and you were using it to get into pulse chain. Pulse chain hasn't launched, and so during this time you said, well, screw it, I'm just going to keep buying more hex because it's the best play that I have to get into pulse chain. Well, during this time, you've hopefully been able to kind of learn the benefits of hex, right? You've learned the benefits of staking. You've learned the benefits of that mechanism as well. You learn the benefits of why you stake and what you can get because of staking. Well, you can then take, say you end up taking, say pulse chain launches. Well, you can still use the 10,000 that you had initially to go and buy Pulse Chain, but hopefully you keep some hex over here on the Ethereum network because you're going to have hex on Ethereum, hex on Pulse, and it's getting copied and forked over there. So you're going to be able to keep some, you're going to be able to stake it. You can definitely make different plays at that point in time. And then you can then separate what you want from there, right? And again, guys, these are all just random examples. I just want to say this right now. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but folks, you got to understand, now is the time that you want to be coming up with that plan, right? Now is the time that you want to figure out what you're going to do. I don't think the best plan is to sell all of your hex and move it over into Pulse Chain. Why? Because hex could still do some crazy things, and hex getting back up to $1, for example, is a 25x right now from where it is, right? Because currently the hex price, let me pull it up just to make sure, currently the hex price is sitting at 2.4 cents, right? And so if you're over here and you got $1, for example, divided by 0.24 cents, a 41x, pretty good, pretty freaking good. Like, you're not gonna be mad at that. Anyone who gets upset, and like, that's one thing I don't want people to focus on. The 10,000x number is a fancy number to get into people's head to not sell, which I get. I think there's massive benefit to getting a number into having everyone's kind of mind focused on one number and one goal. But now that hex has done a 10,000x, do you think it's never going to go back up again? No, it's going to continue to go up. We're in a bear market right now. We're waiting for Pulse Chain to launch. There's so many other factors happening now, but once all this comes back to fruition, bull market's back, you're going to have Pulse Chain launch. All these things are going to be happening. Hex is going to be no longer held on that downward sell pressure, and it's going to start rallying back up again. And who knows, when it hits $1, it's going to be a pretty awesome day, for example, right? And that's a good 40x return your money right now if you invest today. So even if you just take, say you have 10,000 again, and you bought more during this whole time, so maybe you only have $15,000 now, we'll say, just as an example, maybe you can still sell the 10,000 and move that into Pulse Chain like your initial play was, and then you still have 5,000. And if you turn 5,000 times a good 40x your money, you turn that into $200,000, folks. That's just hex hitting $1. That's not even including if you're staked. So I don't want everyone to get into this mindset that you need to make sure that you're in on this exact play. A return of 40x your money is phenomenal, guys. And yes, Pulse Chain may end up doing 50x, right? And Hex may only do 40x, right? But those are phenomenal returns, man. Those are incredible returns. And you're not going to be upset because you're not going to get these returns in the normal market. They just don't come around. They don't happen. So I think everyone needs to be focused on, not which one's going to win, but how you can be involved in each one. Because I think so often do we forget that diversifying your wealth can be good. I don't think diversifying your wealth in other cryptos is necessarily the right play. I will I will preface this by saying the Richard Heart ecosystem should be different. So I don't want to diversify my wealth by holding other shit coins. I don't want to hold, say, Litecoin and Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. I don't want to hold those coins. I don't care about them. They hold no value to me. But PulseChain and PulseX hold extreme value to me. They have extreme pumpamentals built in. They have extreme game theories developed within the entire system. And so I think if you can take some of the wealth, you can have some of the wealth in HEX, you can have some of the wealth in PulseChain, you can have some of the wealth in PulseX. If PulseX goes and does a 20x, PulseChain goes and does a 50x, HEX goes and does a 40x, you are up massively on your initial investment. But if you run the risk that you have everything invested in PulseChain and it doesn't do what you think it's going to do, maybe PulseChain goes up to do a 50x quickly, but then it drops back down in price because, guys, things drop. Crypto is volatile. There is momentum, and that momentum is a real thing. And then there's selling, and then there's fear, and then there's FUD and uncertainty and doubt. And if you go up and you watch that rally up to 50x and then it drops and only ends up being a 10x, and but then in 6 months time, HEX will only start out doing a 2x, but then in 6 months time it ends up being a 40x. Do you know, like, you're gonna beat yourself up because you're gonna say, dude, I wish I would have just held. And the I wish I would have is so devastating and detrimental to your health, to your soul, your life. And it literally is just not good for relationships. The I wish I would have, I wish I could have is very, very bad on your soul, folks. It's not fun to say that. So how can you avoid saying that? Hold them all, right? Literally hold HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX, and take advantage of all of them pumping and all of them going through the cycles. Because if you are trying to play one over the other, you are going to fail. Yes, you may make the right decision in a short-term view span of time, but in a long-term span view, we're talking 2 to 5 years later, you are going to be beating yourself up regardless of what happens, because the one that you're holding will drop. It will. Dips are in the game, folks. If we've learned anything from this HEX dip, from this bear market, from the last year and a half of time, dips are in the game. So if you have something coming from a 60% dip to a 90% dip, anywhere between that range, and you only hold that one investment and the other investments pump, like PulseX, HEX on PulseChain, HEX on Ethereum, and they pump, and then you see them going up and doing a 5x, 10x, 30x, whatever that number is, you're gonna beat yourself up. You're gonna do something stupid. You're gonna make an emotional decision. You're gonna sell that 90% dip and say, dude, I'm gonna catch this one after it's already done a 40% fucking or 40x return. And then once it does that return, then guess what? That one dips. And then Pulse starts going up again. And then you're like, oh my God, I can't freaking win. I always make the wrong decisions. It's always wrong. I can't win. Like, why put yourself through those emotions? Hold them all. Hold what you feel comfortable with, but make a plan now to hold something of each one, right? If you know that, for example, you're getting a copy of everything happening when PulseChain launches, then maybe you hold a copy of a little bit of HEX over here, a little bit of HEX over here on PulseChain, and then you decide to do what you want with PulseX and Pulse. But I think holding all four is going to be the best decision you can make. You aren't trying to figure out which one's going to get you that 1000x return first. You are not trying to play that game. We are not in this for that game. We are here for the long stay. You have to have a long-term mentality in this, folks. And yes, Academaciated saying, yo, what's up, Academaciated? Appreciate you coming through, as always, my friend, my fam. Justin Perez, thank you as always. It's sometimes easy to forget that these long-term strategies are where the true profit or where the true payoff is at. This should be the focus for all RH's platforms. It's the purpose of these developments. Yes, delayed gratification is what that's called. Delayed gratification. Tough to do. Very tough to do. But because of it, I am so thankful that I have my hex staked. So not only have I been able to bear the bear market and actually withstand the bear market and watch the price drop as it has and feel like everything is okay, because that is a phenomenal feeling. Why do I feel that way? Because I'm staked in hex. My stakes are going out all the way to 15 years. And so I'm not worried about this one little segment of life in my moment in time. Yes, does it suck? For sure. Do I want the prices to be back up again? For sure. Because then you can just be like, I'm right, right? That's what we're all looking for. You just want that gratification of saying, I was right. I made the right decision. And when these dips come, sometimes that's very tough to even think about. Did you make the right decision? Are you in the right thing? You got people whispering in your ear saying, you know, it's a scam, it's this, it's that. You got people sharing information, misinformation left and right. You're following the hype and the not the hype, the mania happening within the spaces of Twitter and other social media areas, right? Like, and all that can be very, very bad, because then you make an emotional decision. And I promise, guys, when you make emotional decisions, you don't you regret them 9 out of 10 times later. It's just something that happens where you make it in the moment because you're heated, because you're emotional, because whatever is said, and then you say some shit that sometimes, while you're glad you said it, and while it may be true, and while it stands to reason that you're right and you won, like, you can never take back some of those things. And some of that stuff is not necessarily because of the situation at that time. It's literally because of so many other factors going on in your own life, and you say something that one time and you can never undo it, guys. Some things can literally never be unsaid, and some things can literally never be undone. So when you get out the game of crypto, for example, and you're out and you decide, I never want to see it again, I never want to hear about it again, I am done. And then you hear about it 5 years from now and you realize, damn it, dude, I made the worst mistake that I probably made in my life, right? I sold everything and I didn't care to withstand the storm. That is a painful moment in life, and I don't think I want anyone to go through that. I personally don't want to see anyone experience that. It's not a fun moment. It's not enjoyable for anyone. And so I would be cautious to every single person who is there to just say, like, maybe you got to just look back and take a little bit more time on some things, folks. And taking some time on some stuff isn't a bad thing. But zooming out and having a long-term vision in what we're doing with the Richard Heart ecosystem can be your greatest friend ever. It can truly benefit you for life. Generational wealth can be made, because this is something that is filled with a very passionate community, right? Like, we see literally streamers happening daily, myself included. I'm here daily. You have other folks doing Twitter Spaces daily. You have other folks just sharing their own media, TikToks, and everything that they possibly can daily. Literally every single day, something is happening within our ecosystem and our community. That's what gives me the passion to continue to also do this time and time and time again. This is a fun little chart, but it seems like the 2 cent level is going to be probably right about the time that we end up bouncing back again. We see Hex continue to go up in this little pattern right here, come back down, bounce off the 2 cent line, come back up, bounce off. And so this is a daily, and so you can see we had the Hex conference January 6th through 9th. Everyone thought Richard Hart was going to announce the V3 testnet. at least date. He didn't release it. The price dropped to bounce back off 2 cents. So we got some pretty strong support around the 2 cent line. I'm definitely not thinking that's exactly what we're going to be doing the whole time because again, like you never know how it's all going to play out. But based, whoops, let me make this to where you can actually see it. White and make it a little thicker. What does this one do? Oh, I don't need the arrows. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't need the arrows. Okay, so this is what Hex is doing. It's bouncing off the 2 cent line. It comes back up, comes back down. Once it comes back down, it comes down here, bounces off the 2 cent line, comes back up. We don't have any news about PULSECHAIN, and until we get news about PULSECHAIN, I think we're going to end up seeing the same thing. Come on down, bounce off the 2 cent line. So personally, if you were looking to make a play and to try to scoop up some more Hex during this time, I think setting limit orders around the 2.05, 2. You never want to do things exactly at 2, for example, or even numbers. So you don't want to do things at like 2.4, or I'm sorry, you don't want to do things at like 5, 10, 10 cents, 5 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent. You always want to do things within the metric of a window, up or down, plus or minus 1 or 2. So you can set it at like 2.2, 2.1, something like that, maybe even 1.9 if you think the price may dip down below 2 cents, and then you kind of go play off that. You can go down lower as well. We can see that we have gone down in the past. Whoops. We can see that we have gone down in the past over here. Down to this little 1.7 cent level. This seems to also be a pretty strong level of resistance that we have been experiencing. So we may end up continuing to bounce here in this range between the 1 point. If we dip below 2 cents, we dip back up and bounce back up again. So just be ready for those little plays, because definitely something is feasible, right? It's definitely possible within these options here. Oops. And apparently I just got rid of all the settings I just did. So let me go back and make that thicker. Delete it. Okay. And then set it here for 1.7. Okay. Cool. So those are the lines that I'm seeing happening right now. That's kind of what I see happening. But folks, again, back to like which one's going to win? Which one's going to win? Don't Oh my god. That's funny. Justin Perez, it's about them T-shirts, baby. For sure, for sure. Tin Top says, this feels more like a testimonial or a confession than a pep talk. We're here for you, brother. We all make mistakes. It's about picking yourself up and dusting off. Facts on facts, Tin Top. Yeah, and I don't necessarily mean to say that. It's how I convey my messages, and depending upon how it gets conveyed or understood or perceived, everyone has that different perception about what's going on. But yeah, whenever I start hearing people say like, which one's gonna win, which one's gonna be the play I should be focusing on, I think it just needs to go back and be focused on the entire ecosystem of Richard Hart, not only what he's got going on, but these coins all have their own fundamentals as well. And so being a part of all of them is not a bad thing, and it's probably by far the best and safest play. Now, will you get max returns? Probably not, you know what I mean? But will you ensure your wealth in the future? Absolutely. Especially if you're looking into a year to 5 years or 2 years to 5 years, because there's going to be dips in the game. Volatility is definitely a name in the game of crypto. And so with volatility comes this crazy time of decisions that you may, the rash decisions that you may end up making. And yeah, dude, I've made my mistakes for sure. Like we all have. And I think mistakes are needing to be made. You have to make mistakes. That's how we learn. That's at least how you should be learning, right? Like that's how you become better as an individual. That's how you become better as a person. Like me doing these streams daily, it didn't start off with me coming out with all this information and everything here. I was like, man, I don't really know what's gonna do, what we're gonna talk about, but I'm gonna just click record. And then I went through, I have many mistakes still to this day where I forget to share my screen. Like that's a common freaking mistake that like I keep doing. But because of those mistakes, now I'm more aware to share my screen, just as a basic example. But yes, Academaciated says PulseChain, PulseX, HEX, and its derivatives are going to rage. Yes, academaciated, absolutely. Definitely love it. Gabriel, what's up? What's up? Appreciate you swinging through, Gabriel. Can't wait to see the PulseX chart 1 year, man. Oh my gosh. I Dude, like we're gonna see, and like, so my prediction still stands, right? I think we're probably gonna see Pulse Chain launch like 10x higher than the sacrifice price, so it'd be two zeros and a one. And then I think we're gonna see Pulse X sacrifice price, or we're probably gonna see that launch probably about 2 to 5x higher than the sacrifice price. And that's a great return on your money if you sacrifice. Now, from there, within the first 60 to 180 days, we're going to see some crazy volatility, but we could see anywhere between, a 100x on Pulse Chain to 500x on Pulse Chain. And we could see anywhere between, 50x on PulseX to 200x on PulseX. And these numbers are going to be wild. Now, what Hex is going to do on the Pulse Chain side, I am very curious to see how that's going to play out, because what's going to end up happening is the T-share rate's going to ratchet up so much faster on Pulse Chain side, because people are going to be able to stake for a much shorter period of time, because the fees are very inexpensive. You can literally set a staking ladder to literally have it end every single day for 5,555 days, and the amount of gas fee that you would end up paying is literally next to nothing, less than pennies. So I think we're gonna see the T-share rate ratchet up like crazy, which just means the payout per T-share is higher over on Pulse Chain. And dude, like it is, I am so fascinated by how all this is going to play out, but I don't want to miss it trying to play one thing over the other. I think these are all phenomenal plays that I'm not trying to guess which one's gonna win, guys, because like who knows which one's gonna win. They're all gonna win in my opinion. If someone's like, hey man, I'm gonna 50 extra money in 6 months, right? Like you're not gonna say, oh, obviously in real life you would say no, because like that's a straight up, that just sounds bad. But in crypto, it's definitely possible, right? And so like if someone came to you and they're like, hey man, look into this crypto right here, start doing your own research, and if it's something you invest in, you may actually see returns of 50 to 200x in 60 to 6 months time frame, right? 60 to 180 days. That's pretty freaking awesome, you know what I mean? And so we're gonna see massive people have their lives change drastically, and I mean drastically. Now, what you do with that wealth, I mean, someone says it where they say wealth shows your worst characteristics in some cases. So you always want to focus on making yourself into a better human being, making yourself into a better person, so you don't let the wealth get to your head. Because some people, I think there was a little funny video that I saw. It was the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire, and the millionaire is like, has like a project going on, and it's like, hey, I need this done here, I need this done here, I'm paying you all this money, you get it done. And that was like the millionaire mindset. And then the billionaire mindset was like, hey, you take as much time as you need, you let me know if you need anything, if I can provide any more assistance. And it was literally like this night and day difference. But it's literally like what may happen, because that billionaire got there for a reason, you know what I mean? And so the millionaire could have came into wealth, could have had some money, could have done it, never had this kind of money before, but a billionaire has made this type of life decision and life advice and has been in these moments. So it's like a really funny thing. Millionaire versus billionaire. Let me see if I can find it, because I actually think it was a quite a hilarious thing. Where is it at? Videos. Is it this one right here? I'll play this video, and I'm sure I'll get something here, but let me see if it. Okay, let me see if it is this video. I'm gonna share the screen with everyone real quick, and then if it is this video, so I'm watching it with you as well. And if it's not, then so be it, right? So be it.
My first $1 million. Congrats, you're in the big leagues now. Yeah, I'm gonna try to become a billionaire in the next 10 years. Whoa, that's a whole different level. If being in the millionaires is the big leagues, that's like a whole different sport altogether. What do you mean? That's the next step. I've got the M, now I'm gonna go for the B. Well, the difference between $1 million and $1 billion is about $1 billion. Okay, what does that mean? It means your goals are way further away than you think. The strategies you use to make $1 million will not make you $1 billion. Weird. I guess all those Instagram hustle pages make it seem way easier than it actually is.
That wasn't it. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna draw a blank on it, and it was just. Let me see if I can go back and find it. Maybe y'all know what I'm talking about. And uh, oh man, dude. Let me. How house project? Oh, drawing a blank on it. All right, fair enough. So be it. But yeah, there's a video out there, and again, maybe I'll find it one day and just share a little quick clip of it. But it is kind of funny how like a millionaire will be like, you get this done for me. I'm not paying you for this, and you aren't gonna make anything for it. And then a billionaire is just like laid back, like, dude, you let me know exactly what you need, what you can do, how I can help, and it's just a really fun, really crazy thing, difference in mindset. And so work on your mindset because when you come into wealth, it's a complete game changer for a lot of folks. It really, really is. Obviously, you can do a lot with a lot of money, especially if you've never had that kind of money before. But you can also spend that kind of money in a way different way than you would ever plan on. So I can't wait to see what's actually going to come along when PulseChain launches, when PulseX launches, how many people are going to become millionaires. There's going to be some people who become billionaires just based on how much they sacrificed. I mean, the top sacrifice wallet was like 40 million in PulseChain. And if it does a nice little 20x, well, I guess 25x, they're a billionaire, and so that's pretty good. And they're already probably a billionaire if they sacrifice $40 million, but that's a whole different discussion. But guys, my name is ATX Crypto. I'm hopping off today's stream. Sorry if it got a little bit of a confession story. I definitely meant for it to be more of a focused story, and more of a guys, don't lose your eye off the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. Make sure that you look into all of the Richard Heart projects. Don't focus on only one and make that your only goal, because these all have massive potential to do easy 40 to 100x. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice, but my name is ATX Crypto. I will catch you in tomorrow's stream. Have an awesome, lovely day, every single one of you sons of guns. Peace.